In today's video, we're going to show you some of the secrets on how to impress the driving examiner. So as a fully qualified driving instructor, having done so many driving tests with my students and also speaking to driving examiners, we know exactly what impresses them, we know exactly how to impress them, and we get the feedbacks from the driving examiners. And we're going to pass this knowledge on to you, and we're going to show you how to straight away from the get-go impress the driving examiners. If you've never done a test before, this video is definitely for you. Watch it to the end because we're going to give you some of the secret tips that only people with experience know about. If you have done a test, then watch this video. We're going to show you how next time when you go to the driving test, hopefully you come out with good news. You come out with a pass certificate. We're going to show you maybe what you probably did wrong and how you can improve in it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. It's only a click from you guys, but it makes a big difference to our channel. And also we got our site fmdriverschool.co.uk for all the latest updates and everything that we discuss in the videos explained a bit more thoroughly in our site. So do check it out, fmdriverschool.co.uk. The first piece of advice I would give is when you get to the test center, make sure you're parking away, ready to leave the test center. So don't drive into the bay if there's bays in there. Because once you come out the test center, the examiner's going to ask you, where's your car? And your car's going to be facing towards the wall, not ready to go. So you're going to have to reverse out, get the car in the correct direction and then leave. It's not going to be impressive, is it? And you're going to have all the other learners possibly next to you facing it the correct way. So straight away from the get-go, it doesn't look good. The other thing I would say and watch out for is when you are parking inside the test center, try not to struggle parking. So if you have to reverse in, etc., if there's bays in, try not to struggle too much. Try not to like get into two bays and then try to correct it, as there might be a slight chance that the examiner's looking through the window and watching you guys. And if they spot that you're struggling, maybe the first thing they'll ask you is to do the bay parking. So be aware of that. Sometimes me as an instructor, obviously my students are nervous, they're struggling, and I realize that. Then I sometimes quickly take control of the car to help them parking smoothly. That way it seems like from the examiner's point of view, if they're looking through the window, that this guy can handle or this student can handle bay parking. So they may not straight away put my student under pressure. Especially because students are nervous when they're going to the test center, don't forget. And me myself, I've actually experienced that. We were in Uxbridge Test Centre with one of my students and she was struggling, she was nervous, very agitated, and she couldn't park. She had to do a couple of times. And I was fairly new to the job at the time, so I had no idea what's going on. I just let the student do what she wanted to do and learn to correct it at that point in time. But then the examiner obviously was watching through the window, and the first thing that we will ask her to do was that particular bay parking. Luckily for us, she passed on the day anyway, and she did it fine. But it just goes to show that they are watching with eagle eyes through the window, possibly waiting for that mistake to happen. Okay, now that we've parked at the test center, go into the test center's waiting room and make sure you're not late. Do not be late. I cannot stress this enough. The examiners, they have a time scale for you to do your test. They have to get back, report what happened, and then go to the next student, next client. Now, if you're running late, it's going to make their day run late. And do you think they're going to be happier with that? It's just a job for them. They want to do the job and then leave. They want to leave early. Now, you're making them work extra hard by being late. Again, we're fully qualified driving instructors. We know the areas. If you don't know the area, we will go early and we will check the area out, make sure we know exactly where the test center is. And if you haven't seen the test center, make sure you go there a day before and check it out so that you're not late. It does not look good arriving late, and they give you a maximum 4 to 5 minutes. If you're later than that, they're going to refuse. If you come 6 minutes late, and again I've seen this with other students, as I'm waiting there, they outright refuse the test. Even by a minute late, they outright refuse it. So 4 to 5 minutes is a maximum. So have you ever been late with your driving test? Let me know. Me myself, look, I'm a fully qualified instructor. I also understand the value of what you're paying me for. You're paying me for a service, and I want to make sure I don't disappoint you. So why would I be late with my student who's done so many lessons, prepared themselves, eager to get that certificate, and then you come late and then you're disappointed? And obviously I have to take some of the blame if I'm ever late. So I've never been late except for one occasion, and on that one occasion there was a massive accident on the road, a massive accident, and there was no other way to get there. Me and my student, actually, we Google mapped it, we found different routes. In the end we just about got there on time. We were there about 4 minutes. I literally told my student, let me drive the car. So I usually have an hour lesson before. I took control of the car, drove to this test center, found some route. Luckily and miraculously, I myself parked the car. While I'm parking, I told my student to get out, run to the test center, and tell them that you're here now. And so it was actually really funny. So as I parked the car and as I walk up to the test center now, I knew, okay, we're there in time. We're within the 5 minute boundary. And so as I'm getting there, I can see the student and the examiner debating about not doing the test. The examiner was actually the manager of the test center. So imagine the manager saying that he's not going to do the test, and now I've come along now. So obviously I'm an adult, I'm a bit more older. I know how to deal with these situations and how to talk to them a bit more. So I'm saying what's going on, and he's saying he's not going to do the test. We're late, and I'm looking at the time. I'm like, mate, we're here within 5 minutes. How are you going to say you're not going to do the test? Of course, you guys, if you've never done a test before, never had an experience with a test center, you wouldn't know. You'll probably walk away. But as an instructor, we know the rules and we know the threshold. So I looked at my watch and I said, look, we're within 5 minutes. In fact, we spent a minute debating, so clearly we were here in 4 minutes. You should let us do the test. And he gave in. He realized, okay, he was wrong, and he told us, okay, can you wait another 40 minutes? Because he was about to have his tea. So clearly the reason why he didn't want to do his test was he made his tea realizing that, okay, we're not turning up, and he's going to have his break right now. But it was good news in the end, so we successfully passed. And also I think that he realized that he was wrong and he shouldn't have refused us. Anyway, so going back to the point, do not be late. I've seen in so many occasions while I'm in the test center waiting room, students arriving late. I'm thinking, what's going on? Why are you not prepared? Why are you arriving late? Why don't you come earlier so that, or come to the area a little bit earlier, 10 minutes earlier, and be around the area so you don't come late? Obviously, sometimes students get the timings wrong. So, for example, maybe the test is at 12:28 and they read it at 12:38, so they've come at 12:38 and they got the times wrong. It should have been 12:28. So why aren't you checking it thoroughly? If you got an instructor, your instructor should really double check. I always double check my students. I always ask my students to send me the confirmation of the driving test center times that you got it at, so I can double check for them. Technically, you could argue it's not my job to check your email confirmation, and it's not really. But most instructors, most professional instructors, most instructors who've been teaching it for a long, long time will actually understand it's common courtesy for us to double check, because students, it's new for them. It's natural for them to make mistakes or misread things. So make sure you got the times right and arrive there 5 minutes early. The next piece of advice I would give is make sure you have your provisional ID ready. Have it on the table. Have it in your hands. Do not have it in your pockets. Do not leave it in your car. Sometimes students naturally or forgetfully leave it inside the car, and then they have to run out to the car, get the card, come back in. The examiner is waiting for you now with the pen and paper ready for you to sign the insurance document. So it doesn't look good. It looks really unprofessional. And I'll be honest with you, your instructor should have really advised you and guided you to bring their provisional along with you. So I do that with all my students. I make sure they have it, and we go to the test center with it. I've realized I've slightly waffled on a bit, so apologies for that. I've given you some of my stories as an instructor. We're going to carry on with part 2 of this, so do catch it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and hopefully this video was useful enough to give you some idea how to impress the driving examiner, how to have a really good start, how to have a really good first impression when you go to the driving test center. So I've talked about a lot more things, so catch you in part 2 of the video. We're going to go through it thoroughly.